Loch Ness has long been popular with tourists and visitors who hope to see its monster, Nessie, as has Loch Morar near Mallaig, where Morag is supposed to live. During a slump in tourism in Oban, a plan was hatched so the town could claim its own. A businessman arrived in late April 1877 and took up lodgings in one of the hotels for his long summer break. He noticed the landlord was depressed, and he wasn't the only one. The whole town was suffering from a lack of visitors. The man told the hotelier he had an idea that would bring tourists flocking back. He returned to his room and wrote a letter to a newspaper in the south of England. He stated he'd witnessed a wonderful sea serpent that had been landed on the shore in front of the Caledonian Hotel in George Street. It had been spotted earlier near Heather Island in the bay, and a crowd had gathered on the pier, with some pointing their telescopes at it. It was deemed to be a sea serpent, and its head was said to be around 25 feet above the water. A few boats were launched under the direction of Mr. Nicholson, with each man armed with whatever could be found and deemed as a weapon, and he claimed, as they approached, the creature suddenly sprang from the water and tried to head out to sea. The volunteers fired their rifles in warning to the creature, but it ignored the volley. However, the vessels forced it to change course. They were arranged in a line across the entrance of the bay, and as the men shouted at it, it changed course and headed for the wall at the Great Western Hotel. One of the boats, with the Procurator Fiscal Donald Campbell on board, was alleged to have had a narrow escape when the creature rubbed the side of it when passing. The Fiscal and his brother jumped overboard to escape. They were picked up by the local saddler, John Hardy, in his boat Flying Scud, and both were unharmed. As its tail frantically swept along the beach, no one was prepared to go near it. Stones were said to be whipped up and thrown in every direction, even hitting and injuring a man called Baldy Barrow. A window of the commercial bank was also said to have been smashed. A rope was secured round its neck by Mr. Stevens of the commercial bank at 10 o'clock that night, and it took 70 people to drag it above the high tide mark. He went on to say it was 101 feet in length, with its head 11 feet in circumference, with small eyes. It appeared it had no external ears, and whether it had teeth or not couldn't be ascertained. It also had some strange markings that could be of interest to the scientific community. Duncan Clark, writer, took possession of the serpent, as well as Mr. McPhee of Appin and James Nichol, writer in the name of the Crown. The newspaper ran the story, and within weeks papers across the country were publishing it, including the Times of London. Visitors flocked to the town to see the creature, and that season was one of Oban's most prosperous. It wasn't until the end of that summer it was leaked that, of course, the story was a hoax, created by a man with an axe to grind against a Glasgow newspaper. If you enjoyed this episode of Scotland's History, please like, comment and subscribe. Until next time, thank you for watching.